Oh. Okay. Here we go again. Yet another exciting adventure with yours truly. How's everybody doing? Do me a favor. If you're already in here, hit the thumbs up button. Support the channel. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button for interesting videos and topics like this. A perspective you probably haven't heard before. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. How's my mic doing? Can everyone hear me? Let me turn this music down a little bit. I know I got the background macking music. Let me turn that down a little bit so y'all can hear me. I don't want y'all to get distracted. So you see the title, you see the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about today. It seems as if the Democrats are losing support from the black male demographic. Democrats are bleeding supporters right now. Trump, everyone is hitting the news that Trump has just been indicted yet again down there in Georgia. He's facing like 80 different felony counts, like 800 years. This man is facing all types of criminal charges, and yet he is neck and neck with the sitting president of the United States. Now that should be alarming. If you're not alarmed by that fact, I don't know how much attention you've been paying attention. I don't think you've been paying attention to what's going on in the world. If it doesn't concern you that a man facing 800 years in federal prison has the ability to go neck and neck with the sitting president of the United States. That just shows how little support there is for Joe Biden. Now there's calls, there's rumblings and rumors that, you know, we might have Gavin Newsom run instead of President Biden. There's even some people in the far left saying, hey, maybe Michelle Obama should throw her name in the ring. She is an attorney. She is an attorney. She has ties to a former president, just like Hillary Clinton. You know, so there are calls for alternatives, establishment alternatives, because they don't want to acknowledge people like RFK. They don't want to acknowledge people like Cornel West. They want an establishment controlled candidate who can give the Democratic supporters an alternative to Joe Biden, because we can just see how unpopular Joe Biden is today. Not that Donald Trump is very popular, but I mean, if you're facing 80 different felony counts, 800 years, and people are still ready to vote for you, you've got some support. I don't think that Biden could survive what Donald Trump is surviving right now. So today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to play a few videos to, that's going on in the world today that's on topic. So y'all do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're already in here watching the topic, be sure to hit the thumbs up button to support the channel, boost us in the algorithms. You'll see it right under the brand name, Fried Time Media. You'll see the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button for me, boost us in the algorithm. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topic. What we're going to do today, we're going to review a video of Charlemagne the God getting ethered, destroyed by Republican Larry Elder. We're going to play that video. We're going to dissect it, break it down a little bit. And after that, we're going to dissect and review an article that's currently trending in Reuters. Reuters has just dropped an article saying that the Democrats black men are losing faith in Biden, Democrats in 2024. Let me show you the headline here. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is coming from Reuters. Some black men lose faith in Biden and the Democrats in 2024. So before we get into this article, I'm going to play a video, like I said, of Larry Elder scorching, just demolishing Charlemagne, the lowercase g God. We're going to play that video, dissect that, and then we're going to get into this article. All right, so let's start off with the Larry Elder situation. If you haven't heard, Larry Elder is a Republican, a black Republican, how few there are who are openly admitting to be black Republicans. Larry Elder is a notable black Republican, and he recently went on to the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God. Now, he's a decent person. Let me be honest. I like Charlemagne. All in all, I do like Charlemagne. He's had some good interviews. He's had some bad, but overall, he's a hip hop guy. You know, he's made his claims by staying on current events in the hip hop circle. He has a show called that a daily or week a daily. I think it's weekly, a weekly podcast where he says, "Donkey of the Day." Donkey of the Day, where he says, "Oh, this person did something foolish in the world. We're going to give him Donkey of the Day." Well, he tried to catch Larry Elder on his show, but Larry Elder had a clap back. So I'm going to play this video and come back with some thoughts. Check this out. Let's go over here.
Have you ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
No.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How
Oh man, that should have been a wake-up call for you. You see, Charlemagne the guy tried to catch him. Have you ever heard of a nigga wake-up call? Like, hey, black man, you know these white people are laughing at you. Well, Larry Elder's like, dude, Joe Biden got on here and said, you're not black if you don't vote for him. The architect of the 94 crime bill. You're not black if you don't support him. And you try to tell Larry Elder that he's not black? See, there's this thing right now where a lot of these Democratic shows are trying to insult black men for not supporting Biden, for not supporting the Democrats. I'm going to show you the video that he's referring to where Joe Biden to this black man's face says, you're not black if you don't support Joe Biden. I'm going to play that video so you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to come back to current day with Larry Elder exchanging his comments with Charlemagne. We're going to keep breaking this thing down like this. Stand by.
But I don't know if you saw the op-ed in the Washington Post by some of the leading black women voices in this country. And they feel since black women are such a loyal voting bloc and black people saved your political life in the primaries this year, they have things they want from you. And one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered. Multiple.
Well,
Thanks so much. That's really our time. I apologize.
You can't do that to black media.
I can't do that to white media and black media because my wife has to go on at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm in trouble.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. Come on. Take a look at.
Wow. If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you are not black. He says this to the black man's face. Now you got to understand these conversations are happening in real time. So give Charlemagne some grace for not reacting as he should have. But that's really insulting to say, oh, you're not a black man if you don't vote for the author of the 94 crime bill. If you don't vote for the man who said, I don't want to integrate school buses. I don't want to integrate schools back in the 60s and early 70s. I don't want to integrate. I want black people and white people to be segregated. This politician is on record going against integration and going on record supporting mass incarceration. And then he turns around and tells black men, you are not black if you don't support him. You're not black if you don't support him. There is a reoccurring theme with the Democratic Party for shaming specifically black men. Specifically, black men get shamed for not supporting the Democrats. Now, black women are very loyal to the Democratic Party. They're very loyal to the Democratic Party. Black women are. But black men get less See, black women have a affinity for the Democratic Party because black women support from being black and from being a female. Situations like the abortion rights are being supported by Democrats, and that is an issue that directly affects black women. Black men are not as directly affected by abortion rights because we don't have the right to abortion anyway. So yes, while we might, I myself included, might support the freedom of choice, I'm pro-life in my own personal life, but I'm pro-choice as in legally, because I believe in the separation of church and state. That's a conversation for another day. You can go back and check out my video on that topic. But while that is a topic that I would support black women in saying, okay, you should have the right to an abortion, that's not something that's going to influence my vote. I'm not going to go out and vote for Democrats because they support abortion, because it doesn't affect me. I've never told a woman to get an abortion. I never will. So it's not something that's going to directly motivate me to go to the polls. Black women have that motivation. Black men do not. So when black men are saying, what is our motivation for voting Democrats? It's the economy, stupid. Black men are calling for reparations first and foremost. Other issues like getting out of these wars. Donald Trump and the Republicans created no new wars under the Donald Trump administration in 2016. No new wars were created. Fast forward to Joe Biden's administration, and now we're sending billions on top of billions of dollars to Ukraine. So it's the economy, stupid. Who do you want the black men to support? The Democrats aren't doing anything specifically for black men, but at least the Republicans aren't out here giving billions of dollars of tax-paying money to these foreign nationals that we don't have any affinity for. Ukraine is not a NATO member state. So why exactly should black men be supporting this war or being supporting the Democrats? I haven't had a good answer to this question. I have yet to have a good answer to this question. By the way, if you've made it this far in the video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We're going to keep this conversation going. And be sure to leave a comment in the tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong. If you have something you want me to address, you can leave a comment in the chat section. I read my chats and I'm responding to y'all in real time. So I appreciate everyone rocking with me, checking out the video. But yeah, black men have no real motivation to go to the polls, and they are bleeding. The Democrats are bleeding black male supporters right now because of reasons like this. We're going to get back to the video where Larry Elder is interacting with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is speaking up on behalf of the Democrats, saying, "Hey, you're a black Republican. I don't know what you're talking about. You're a sellout. You're a coon. You're Uncle Tom." Charlemagne is trying to disparage and belittle Larry Elder, and Larry Elder is giving Charlemagne the work. So we're going to go back to this video, watch a little bit more, and then we'll dissect this article from Reuters. All right, check this out.
How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney. Because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden has lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Again, Larry Elder is just hitting Charlemagne with the jabs, straight jabs. You didn't get your nigga wake-up call? Joe Biden has been lying to you about his civil rights record. Joe Biden has been lying to you, saying that he spent time in South Africa, jail cell, at the same cell as Nelson Mandela. He's been lying to you, and you haven't caught on yet. Larry Elder is hitting Charlemagne with facts. And there's one thing, the hardest thing it is to fight is truth. Truth and facts defend itself. If you hit somebody with the truth, if you hit somebody with the fact, it defends itself. You don't have to say too much more. The truth defends itself. Larry Elder is jabbing, giving those straights against Charlemagne was just hitting them with facts. Joe Biden has been lying to you about his criminal rights record. He's been lying to you about his stance on integration. He's been lying to you about going to the same prison as Nelson Mandela. He's been lying to you saying, I apologize for the 94 crime bill. You know, the black people really wanted mass incarceration. You brought it upon yourself. Joe Biden has done nothing for black men, and black men are recognizing that. Black men are protesting against the Democrats. We've been specific, very specific about our desires. We want to get out of these foreign wars of aggression. We want peace between Ukraine and Russia. We don't want billions of our taxpaying dollars going to Ukraine. We want reparations. Black men are calling for reparations. If you speak against that, you failed the litmus test. Number 3, as far as the student loans, there's a lot of things economically that would affect black men, and black men are calling for economic tangibles. If you're not speaking directly about tangibles, economic tangibles, black men are not supporting you. Black men are not supporting you. And you just got to look at it like this. Joe Biden, the current sitting president, who is tied neck and neck with Donald Trump, a man facing 800 years in federal prison, they're neck and neck right now. Joe Biden has a history of the 94 crime bill. Donald Trump has a history of the First Step Act. Donald Trump is on record giving voting rights to incarcerated people down there in Florida. Down there in Florida, the Republicans under Ron DeSantis, I am not a Ron DeSantis fan, but under Ron DeSantis, Black Floridian ex-prisoners, freedmen, now have the right to vote. Under Biden, we got mass incarceration. So if you really look at the facts, who's been better as far as mass incarceration? Who's been better for the black male demographic? It's kind of hard to defend the Democrats. We're going to play a little bit more of this clip. By the way, this is free use, guys. I'm playing this video. I'm responding, giving my comments. We're breaking it down. I'm reporting the news. This is free use. This is a free use video. I'm using this video between Larry Elder and Charlemagne to support a perspective and support my point. This is free use. So I'm going to go back, play a little bit more of this video, then we're going to break down the article. All right, check this out.
For the record, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
I didn't say you were.
Yeah, I think both.
I don't know what you are. I never even asked you about your party affiliation.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but you are black. And to have a white guy come in here and tell you have to say think a certain kind of way, otherwise you, quote, ain't black. Wow.
How should I have replied to him, you think?
What I just now said, how dare you insult me and tell me I think as a human being, let alone as a black person? I don't tell you how to think, Joe Biden. How dare you come in here and tell me how I should think? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump if I want to vote for Donald Trump. And if I want to vote for Donald Trump, it does not make me not black. 20% of black people, black men, as I said, voted for Donald Trump in 2020. Are they not black now? So only 80% of black people, black men walking around are really black, 20% are not because they voted for Donald Trump. How insulting is that? How condescending is that?
Now that's the point that I really wanted to emphasize. That's the point I really wanted to emphasize. In 2020, 20% of black men voted for Donald Trump in 2020. In the year 2020, in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, 20% of black men voted for Donald Trump. Joe Biden says if you vote for Donald Trump and not Joe Biden, you're not black. So those 20% of black men who don't support Joe Biden, they're not black anymore. Now, I'll be honest with you. I did not vote for Donald Trump. I did not vote for Joe Biden. I'm not a fan of either one of them. If it's me, I'm supporting third parties. This year, I'm supporting Cornel West. I'm very open about who I'm voting for in my stance on politics. So I'm very consistent on that. I'm supporting Cornel West this time. I vote my conscience every year. If I don't support you with my conscience, I'm not voting for you. You're not going to get my support because you're the lesser of two evils. I don't believe in voting for the lesser of two evils. Evil is evil. And if I think you're evil, you're not getting my vote, period. I think we need to support these third parties. We need alternatives to the Democratic and Republican Party. So I think we need to start supporting third parties en masse. But for those who said, hey, I would rather, just as a protest, vote for Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden, just in protest. For Joe Biden to come on here and say, oh, you're not black because you didn't support the author, the architect of the 94 crime bill, then you're not black, that's insulting. It's insulting. And it's a common theme amongst these Democratic shells, these Democratic supporters, that we're going to insult. It's the sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. We're going to shove it down your throat whether you like it or not. You've got to fall in line, black man. You've got to support the Democrats even if you don't like them. And black men are protesting. Black men are not bowing down to this Democratic authority anymore. We're delineating. We're saying, hey, if you aren't supporting the tangibles, the economic perspectives, and the economic interests of black men, hey, good luck finding someone else to support your party, because black men have had enough. Black men have had enough. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Continue to support the channel. But we're not done. Oh no, we're not done. We're not done, not by a long shot. So that was just the video of Larry Elder and the exchange with Charlemagne. And I play that just to show the fact that right now, the black men who are supporting the Republicans, and the black men who are voting third party like myself, we've had enough, and the Democrats are not able to shame us into supporting them anymore. So that's why I played that video, and it was fair use to report the news as far as the divide, the growing divide between black men and the Democratic Party. With that being said, let's review this article coming from Reuters. It's a very interesting article. We're going to check this out. Now you can see on the title of this article, let me share my screen on here so you can see it. Some black men lose faith in Biden and Democrats in the 2024 election. All right, we can see the title. We can see the title of this article. This is coming from Reuters. They recognize the trend that's going right now. They recognize that black men are falling off the Democratic plantation. Some black men are going to support the Republicans. Some black men like myself are going third party. But the Democrats at the end of the day have nothing to offer black men. And we're not captive. We are not being held captive to this party that is offering us nothing in exchange for our vote. I would much rather sit home. Why am I wasting my time even getting up? Now, like I said, I do believe in voting. I'd like to exercise my right, the bullet or the ballot. I choose the ballot. But I think that whatever choice you go with, it's hard to do worse than the Democrat. It's hard to do worse than the Democratic Party right now. And by the way, hold on. Before we get into this article, let me come back for a second. Before we get into this article, I'm going to also be on the lookout for my video tomorrow. It might drop tomorrow. It might drop Monday. But I'm going to be dropping this video on this judge because, full disclosure, I live in D.C. I'm from the DMV. Went to high school in D.C. I went to 3 different high schools. So I went to high school in D.C., graduated from high school in Maryland called Blair High School. If you're from Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, Montgomery County, if you're from the DMV, you probably know Blair. Salute to all the Blair alumni. What's going on? Yeah, so I graduated from Blair. And they just released, a judge just released her opinion saying, if you are a parent in Montgomery County, this is a federal judge announcing, if you are a parent and you want to opt your children out of learning about LGBTQ issues, if you don't want them to read about sex ed, your elementary school kids, if you don't want your elementary school kids to learn about LGBTQ issues, you do not have the right to opt your elementary school kids out of that type of learning. You don't have the right to remove your elementary school kids from learning about LGBTQ. That was an opinion that a judge just released today. So I'm going to be making a video on that topic because it hits close to home. That's the county that I graduated my high school from. So that's DMV. DMV stand up. It's hard to do worse than the Democrats right now. Democrats are putting some bizarre stuff on the ballot to support right now. We're going to that's a different topic for a different day. But let's get back into this article. I'm just saying, black men have had enough. That's the moral of this story. Black men have had enough. And I like this picture right here. Black voters matter. Black voters matter, but they're not doing anything for us. Some black men lose faith in Biden. Let's get into this article. All right, so Bata Makonnen. First of all, this name Makonnen, that sounds Ethiopian. I'm not sure if this guy is FBA. FBA is Foundational Black American, the descendants of slaves. American slaves. I don't think he is. Not with the name Bata McConan. I don't think he's FBA, but that's okay. A 28-year-old in the key voting state of Georgia is among millions of black voters who helped deliver President Joe Biden the White House in 2020. 3 years later, he is one of the voters who Democrats fear could cost Biden a second term in 2024. First of all, let me make sure that y'all can see this. Is this big enough for y'all? Let me try to scroll up a little bit bigger so y'all can see this clearly. Because we're going to be going through this article. I want to make sure y'all can see that. All right. Is that in frame? Can y'all see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Make sure y'all are rocking with me. Make sure y'all are good. Make sure it's good for y'all. Make sure y'all can see it. All right, so let me read this again. 3 years later, this McConan guy, is one of the voters who Democrats fear could cost Biden a second term in 2024. Now, first of all, how does a voter cost someone an election? Think about the way that they're framing this. Think about the way that they're framing this topic. You as a black man, you as a voter are going to cost someone. You are going to cost someone an election. Okay, we got someone in the chat. Love this discussion. The video, the summaries, the commentary. Grow on. Okay, I appreciate you. Dr. Yvonne. I appreciate you, Dr. Yvonne. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it going. But first of all, how is it that they can frame it as you as a black man, it's your fault if this president loses? It's not his fault for not offering you anything. You see how they frame that? It's your fault. Your fault, black man, because you didn't vote for this guy who's offering you nothing. This guy who said you need to spend 3 or 4 times as much time in prison as your white counterparts for doing the same crime. You need to spend more time in prison, and it's your fault if you don't vote for him. You see how they frame that? Let's get back to this article. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta let me plug this computer in. Give me 1 moment, guys. Okay, we're here. We're gonna keep this conversation going. Hopefully you can see this article. I don't want that to be out of frame for you. Let me see if I can get this, make sure this is in frame for you a little bit better. Oh no, give me 1 second, guys. We're gonna keep it going. There we go. I think that's, there we go. I think that's better for you. Okay, let's get back to this article. All right, so here's where we left off. 3 years later, he is one of the voters who Democrats fear could cost Biden a second term. It's your fault for not voting for him. It's your fault. Let's keep going into this article. Disappointed by what he sees as Democrats lurch to the left. Okay, so this black man is mad that the Democrats are too far left. Free spending and empty promises. Now that's more accurate. It's probably because of their free spending in Ukraine and their empty promises as it relates to black people. That's probably the reason why he doesn't want to vote for him. It has nothing to do with the lurch to the left, but also turned off by far-right Republicans. McConan says he sees nothing but bad options at the ballot box next year. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. We're going to read through this article very quickly. It's a very interesting article. What I'm noticing across the Democratic Party right now is there's a lot of pandering to the black community, said McConan, who plans to attend business school after a career in the military. It seems like they do a lot to try to make it seem like they are a party for the young black men or black men as a whole, but they don't back it with anything. They don't follow through. Truer words have rarely been spoken. I mean, what exactly have the Democrats followed through on that would encourage black men in particular to support them? First of all, if we go all the way back to President Biden, back in, was it 2008 when he was elected and he took office in 2009? Right? Wasn't it President Obama who said his first act in office would be to codify Roe versus Wade? Wasn't that a Democratic president by the name of President Obama who promised when campaigning that his first act in presidency, his first act in office would be to codify Roe versus Wade? But no, he did not codify Roe versus Wade. And neither did Joe Biden and the Democrats. So we have had two Democratic presidents take office and not codify Roe versus Wade. But now that Roe versus Wade has been overturned, now they're going to be sure to codify Roe versus Wade. That's what they're trying to tell you. That's what they want to promise you. I'm just going to go ahead and step out on a limb and say they're not going to do anything to codify Roe versus Wade, even if Joe Biden wins. Even if Joe Biden wins, I would bet 50 push-ups. I'm not a gambling man, I'll be honest with you. I bet 50 push-ups they don't codify Roe versus Wade because they need things to run on. If they codify Roe versus Wade, what can they run on? What can they promise the Democratic voters that they'll do the next time? No, what they like doing is, we'll tell you we're going to support Medicare for all. We'll tell you we're going to, get us out of these wars like the war in Afghanistan. We'll tell you we're against the military-industrial complex. We'll tell you we're going to support Roe versus Wade and codify Roe versus Wade. But when we take office, we'll be sure to do nothing. We'll tell you we're going to eliminate student loan debt. We're going to forgive student loan debt. We'll tell you that. But as soon as we get into office, we're going to make sure that nothing progressive happens. That way, we can make more promises in the next election. The jig is up, man. Everybody knows what's going on, especially black men, because for the longest, like I said, black men have just been going along to get along. Okay, yeah, we got to vote for the Democrats. It's that time again. My wife is voting for the Democrats, so I guess, they're not promising me anything, but, they're better than the Republicans. Well, as time goes on, we see it's not so much. Let's get back into this article. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. We want to keep this video going, get into this article. Long the most loyal Democratic constituency, black voters played a large role in rescuing Biden's struggling 2020 presidential campaign in South Carolina primary and sending him to the White House with Democrats in control of the Senate, thanks to further success in Georgia. Georgia, that's my home state. I'm from Atlanta. ATL, right? Atlanta, shout out the ATLians. Shout out all the Georgians, right? So the black folks down there in Georgia, the black folks down there in South Carolina were very influential in getting Joe Biden elected, as well as the fact that Barack Obama was able to put in some phone calls to Pete Buttigieg, Klobuchar, and what's the other lady's name? Elizabeth Warren, the fake Native American. They were able to put some phone calls into these three. Hey, y'all gotta drop out of the race, or Bernie Sanders is going to win. They were able to do some last minute finagling, finessing, and should I say rigging of the Democratic primaries. But that didn't quite make the article. But it's true. Barack Obama was very influential in cheating the Democratic primary supporters, those who supported Bernie Sanders. But that's a story for another day. In return, many black voters expected Biden and Democrats to push new federal protections against restrictive voting laws, police and criminal justice reform, student loan debt relief, and economic empowerment. Let me translate this for a second. Let me turn this music down and make sure y'all can hear me. Let me translate this for a second. Okay, when they say, let me translate this. When they say restrictive local voting laws, be clear, that's not foundational black Americans who are in such dire need of new voting laws. What they're saying there is the people who can't get ID. Who are the people who can't get ID? Illegal immigrants. They're talking about illegal immigrants. The same people who over there in Chicago are now being promised jobs as police officers. They're trying to make undocumented immigrants police officers in Chicago, a Democratic city, a Democratic self-identified haven and sanctuary city for undocumented immigrants. They're trying to prioritize them as workers for the police. They're policing the people. They're putting these undocumented workers as police to police the U.S. citizens in Chicago and other democratic cities. So whenever they say we need new voting laws, what they're talking about is we don't want you to show your ID for the right to vote. If you're from America, it's very easy for you to get ID, whether it be a driver's license or not. You can get just a regular state ID. It's very easy. It's not a very complicated process to get your ID. The people who don't have it is people who are undocumented, people who don't have the right to be here legally. And I don't know if we need. I mean, if you can't get ID, should you really be voting? Let me break down some more of this. Criminal justice reform. Criminal justice reform. That's a non-starter. We've had protests and no substantial change in criminal justice reform. As far as that goes, are they going to end? Are they going to put an end to immunity? Are they going to put an end to this police immunity? Or start to put new laws where if police officers shoot and kill an unarmed citizen, there will be some guaranteed or lower standard than, oh, I feared for my life. Right now, the standard is if you feared for your life, just say you feared for your life and you're able to walk as a police officer. You have impunity, right? You have impunity. Just say you feared for your life. They need to change the standard. That's the only way. They have to begin to punish, legally and substantially punish officers who are involved in unarmed shootings. Now, some of these killings are justified, let's be honest. But from the majority, not the majority, but from what we see as far as a lot of these shootings on tape of unarmed citizens being shot down, whether they be black or white, an officer shooting an unarmed citizen resulting in murder should result in, first of all, loss of pension at the very least. There are officers who are over here shooting people, killing people on tape, unarmed citizens who they get retirement plans. They don't even lose their pension. Listen, that's a conversation for, you're going to start getting me hot. So there's no substantial change on that front. There is no substantial change on that front. So restrictive voting laws, that doesn't really affect foundational Black Americans. Police and criminal justice reform. All I'm saying from the Democrats and Republican Party, they are unified in increasing police spending. Student loan debt relief. This was a big one. Joe Biden, the one thing that Joe Biden has promised that Black men could benefit from, or Black people in general could benefit from, is debt relief concerning student loan debt relief. And they specifically and intentionally chose a route that they knew would be overturned in court so that they could argue in the next election, 2024, that, hey, we tried to get some debt relief for student loans, but we just couldn't because the judges overturned it. They did that intentionally. They intentionally did it. They used legislation instead of using the same right that allowed Donald Trump to postpone payments. Instead of using that same route, they used a different route intentionally, knowing that it would be overturned. They did it intentionally. Like I said, the name of the game from the Democratic Party is we're going to promise you something. We're going to promise you something and intentionally get it overturned so that you end up with nothing so that in the next election we can promise it to you again. That is the playbook, the Democratic playbook that they run with every single election cycle. If I'm wrong, put it in the comment section. Tell me I'm wrong. I appreciate everyone rocking with me. I appreciate everyone watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate you rocking with me this far. Let's get back into this article. So student loan debt relief. We know that they're doing nothing on that foot, right? And economic empowerment. As far as foundational Black Americans, what is economic empowerment? Reparations, they're silent on it. They're silent on reparations. All right, what else you got? Do you have any housing bills? What else do you have as far as economic empowerment? I haven't heard any promises. I haven't heard of any. All I hear is, the unemployment rate is down. We just came off the heels of a worldwide pandemic where unemployment was at an all-time high because the government mandated that businesses shut down and people go on unemployment and get paid more for being out of work. We just went through a year where the United States citizens were paid more for being unemployed than they were at the original jobs. So saying, okay, your unemployment is done, the economy is now opening back up, and people have jobs again. That's not a flex. You did nothing to make that come to pass. That's just the natural course of events that the pandemic is over and the economy is opening back up and all these businesses need their workers back because you, the United States government, mandated that they close down. You did nothing to decrease unemployment. You did nothing. We do not give you credit for that. We give that credit to the end of the pandemic, which is just a natural occurrence, which was bound to come at some point. You couldn't keep the economy shut down forever. You don't get credit for that. Okay, you don't. You don't. Now, I'm not saying they deserve blame because 2020 was a crazy year. We acted poorly, the majority of us. Listen, that's a conversation for another day. I didn't support all those mandates. That's a story for another day. But we'll give you grace. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt and not put blame on Donald Trump or Joe Biden saying it's their fault for the pandemic. We're not going to blame either one of you. Fauci gets some responsibility, but Donald Trump and Joe Biden, we don't blame you. But you don't get credit. You don't get credit for the ending of the pandemic. No. Spare me. You do not get credit for that. So the economic empowerment is lost. It's left waning. I don't give any credit to Joe Biden or the Democrats, nor to the Republicans. All right. Let's finish off this article. I'm going to end with some closing thoughts. Many of those efforts have been blocked by Republicans. Okay, we're going to blame the Republicans. The only thing that the Republicans have blocked is student loan debt relief. There is nothing else here on this list that the Republicans have blocked. The Republicans were not influential in blocking anything that the Democrats have been trying to do other than student loan debt relief. And that just came through the judges. That's not even like the Democratic legislators. Republican legislators haven't really done anything. The Democrats are just inefficient. They're useless. Leaving Biden to ask voters to let him finish the job. No, with the second term, but with no clear path to get things done. Hey, give us a second chance. Give us a second chance, but we're not going to promise you we have no clear path to get things done. On the other hand, Democrats focus on LGBTQ and abortion rights, leaving voters like McConan feeling alienated. And that's what I was saying earlier when I mentioned what's going on here in the DMV. DC, stand up. I went to school in DC. I went to school in Maryland as well. Graduated from a high school in Silver Spring, Maryland called Blair High School. This is in Montgomery County public school system. They just announced today, as I was saying earlier, that if you are a parent of elementary school students, if you're a parent and your kids are in elementary school, you no longer have the right to opt your children out of LGBTQ readings. Mandatory readings on LGBTQ issues. Mandatory readings for your elementary school child, and you have no right to opt your kid out of it. Now, when you have policies like that, Democrats, and you offer no substantial tangibles, the Democrats are offering no tangibles to the black community, specifically to black men. You're offering us nothing, but instead you're pushing policies that are saying you have to. This is called buck breaking. You have to leave your elementary school kids in these classes teaching them LGBTQ issues. You have to give millions of dollars to undocumented immigrants so that they have housing. But if you're a U.S. citizen and you're homeless, sorry, good luck. You have to give up your taxes, billions of dollars, to support the Ukraine war. You have to. And you have to support the author, the architect of the 94 crime bill, because if you don't, you're not black. You're not a black man if you don't vote for Joe Biden. You haven't heard? You're not black. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. And then you're surprised why black men are not supporting them. Then you're surprised. I appreciate everybody who's I appreciate everyone who's in the room right now, by the way. We're going to get back into this article. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me. If you're here this far, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, support the channel. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. We're not done. We're not done. We're going to keep getting into this article. But if you've made it this far, hit the thumbs up button. It gives me motivation to keep these videos going. I keep recording every single day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel for more topics and more conversations like this. All right, let's get back into this article. So on the other hand, I'm going to come back here where we left off. On the other hand, Democrats focus on LGBTQ and abortion rights, leaving voters like McConan feeling alienated. Because you're offering us nothing, only you're giving us policies that we don't support. Excuse me. I'm probably getting turned away from the left. Just because the Democrats are turning more left in my book, he said, adding he wished Democrats spent more time on the economy. It's the economy, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. Polls and Reuters interviews show younger black voters and black men of all ages are losing their faith in Democrats. Biden, and perhaps even the political process, just 3 years after the U.S. biggest protest for racial justice and civil rights in a generation. The vast majority of black voters, including men, are still expected to choose voting over a Republican. Okay, all right. I'd say 80%. Probably higher, 80 to 90%. But that 10% who are not, that's substantial. That's substantial because, especially if you look back at Obama's election, I'm talking about 98 to 96% of black men and women supporting the Democratic Party. So when you go from 98, 96% of black men and women supporting Democratic Party to now you're in the 80s, 85%, that's a significant drop. That's a significant drop. And these things can be avoided, but they're spitting in our faces. They don't even care. They don't even care that we're losing faith in them. Get back to this article. We're almost done. We're getting there. All right, but the question for Democrats is whether disillusioned black voters will turn out to the polls in large enough numbers in crucial cities, from Philadelphia to Atlanta, Milwaukee, Detroit, to keep Biden in the White House. That's what they want to know. These major cities, these black-dominated cities, are black voters really going to support the Democrats who are offering them nothing in return? They are getting worried. And I'm going to tell you one reason why. I'll give you one name. Cornel West. Whew. They're scared. I'm telling you. For the first time, you have a significant, name recognizable alternative to the Democratic and Republican Party. And not only that, but the Democrats cannot demonize Cornel West like they really want to demonize the third party, because Cornel West, first of all, he's already been identified before him running third party. He was for the longest time a supporter of the Democratic Party, and he leads with love. He leads with a radical revolutionary level of love and Christian agape love. He says, hey, my brother, my sister, we have fundamental disagreements, but in the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, I love you all just the same. Whether we agree or whether we disagree, with the godly love within myself, I support you. With talk like that, it's hard. It's hard to disagree. It's hard to demonize. It's hard to belittle someone who's speaking positively about you. Hey, we have fundamental disagreements. I don't think that the Democratic Party is supporting black people. I don't think the Democratic Party is supporting the American citizens of any race as they should. The Democratic Party has turned their back on American citizens in support of Ukraine, in support of fascism, neoliberal fascism. The link between corporations like Pfizer, right? Medical apartheid, medical companies like Pfizer, right? And the military industrial complex, Raytheon. The Democratic Party have sold out the working people. The party that the working people used to be the Democratic Party. And the owner class was the Republican Party. But now the corporations have bought the Republican and the Democratic Party. So if you're a worker, whether you're black, white, yellow, green, purple, or polka dot, it doesn't matter what color you are, you really have nowhere to turn. The Republicans are slightly better because they're not pushing this LGBTQ stuff and this foreign immigration down your throat. Illegal immigration. It's fine if you immigrate legally and all that. But supporting giving millions of dollars to illegal immigrants while the U.S. citizens get nothing, it's hard to support that unless you're a Democrat. But the Republicans, at least they dog whistle towards some support for the American people over foreigners or LGBTQ. But outside of that, both parties have sold out the American people. Both parties have sold out the American people. Whether you're black or white or yellow, green, it doesn't matter. We're going to finish out this article now. Right? So there's a big question whether the disillusioned black voters will support the Democrats. Here we go. Oh, here's really what I wanted to point out. Here's what you really need to know. Self-identified black Americans make up 14.2% of the U.S. population, or 42 million people, 42.7 million people, a 30% jump from 2000, Pew Research shows. These Americans are 5 years younger than the population as a whole, with an average of 33 years of age. And Democrats earning their loyalty is crucial for the party to keep winning in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia, and to recapture districts in the South in the future. Black voter turnout dropped by nearly 10 percentage points, from 51% in the 28 midterms to 42% in 2022. Black voter turnout is waning. According to a Washington Post analysis of the U.S. Census Bureau survey released earlier this year, white voter turnout slipped only by 1.5%. White people, okay, they're pretty much... Now, first of all, the majority of white people are Republicans. Let's make no mistake about it. The majority of the white people are Republicans, but their voter turnout has only dropped by 1.5%. Black people, our turnout is dropping by 10%. We are disillusioned. Myself included, are disillusioned. We are not happy with the results that the Democratic Party are offering us. Fewer black voters in the past election spell worries for Biden 2024 bid. The moral of this story, let me see if there's anything else I want to add here. Let me see, I'm going to do a quick scan, see if there's anything else I wanted to add here. Black voter turnout was down across the country in 2022. We saw it in the polls, the surveys, the exit polls, and every way you could measure it, said Michael McDonald, a political professor at UFL. Some Democrats have also been disturbed by recent polls showing that some black voters are defecting to Republicans. 1 in 5 black people under the age of 50 voted Republican in the 2022 midterms, roughly double the number of their elders, according to a previously unreported analysis of exit polling. This might be the last thing I wanted to point out here. Now notice they say it was unreported analysis. 1 in 5 black people under the age of 50, that's 20%. Unless my math is wrong, 1 in 5 is 20%. 1 in 5, 20%. In 2022, this is 2023 now, so that means last year, the midterms, 20% of black people, it doesn't say black men, it says black people, male or female. 1 in 5, 20%, I'm not voting for them. 20% have had enough. All right? They not only have they had enough of the Democrats, they went all the way to the other side. They didn't say, oh, I'm just going to sit home. They didn't say, I'm going to vote third party. They said, you know what? The lesser of two evils is the Republicans. 20% said the lesser of the two evils are the Republicans last year in 2022. 1 in 5 said Republicans are better than Democrats. You don't know why the Democrats are panicking right now? You don't see why? Let me read that one more time, just for emphasis. 1 in 5 black people under the age of 50 voted Republican in the 2022 midterms. And not only that, but this is according to a previously unreported analysis. This was unreported. They didn't want to show. They did not want to show what black people were doing. They wanted, hey, shh. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. They go, shh. No. No, we can't talk about that. 20% of black people are voting Republicans instead of Democrats? Oh no. That's got to go unreported. we're not going to have headlines on that. Oh no. We can't have that. We can't have that hit the news. You can't make that be the topic of conversation on CNN, MSNBC. We can't report the fact that 20% of black people, male and female, said, not only am I not voting Democrats, I'm not sitting at home. I'm actively voting against the Democrats. I'm actively voting Republican. I'm voting, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Huh? Let 1 in 5 black people tell it. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And Democrats are being identified as an enemy at this point. Let 20% of black people say it. Let 20% of black people tell it. The Democrats are the enemy at this point. This is black men and women under the age of 50 voted Republican in similar numbers, the poll showed. Now, Republican Donald Trump's 12% share of the black vote in 2020 was 4% points higher than it was in 2016. All right, we see that? Donald Trump went from 8% of the black vote in 2016 to 12%. That's a significant increase. Black people are moving away from the Democratic Party. All right, now I'm not gonna beat you over the head with this topic too much. I think my point has been proven. I think the news that I'm here to report, I think you get it. You see what I'm going with this. Black people have had enough of the Democratic Party because they are offering us nothing. Specifically, foundational black Americans. Black people in general, black men in particular, but specifically foundational black Americans. Those who are American citizens for generations, dating back to 1700s, the descendants of American slaves. You're not going to scare us with, oh, they're restricting voting rights. How? I have my ID. I have my license. I have my passport. I can prove I'm an American citizen. I'm not worried about your voting rights. Sorry. You're not doing anything on an economic standpoint. You're not pushing reparations, Democratic Party. You're being hush-hush about it. Black Americans, foundational black Americans are openly calling, hey, California, we're looking for reparations. Gavin Newsom, what's going on? Oh, we're gonna study it. HR 40. We'll think about it, right? We'll think about it. By the way, be sure to send a couple $550 billion to Ukraine. You black Americans, we'll do a study on y'all. All right, we'll send $50 million to Chicago for homeless immigrants. But you black American citizens, we'll think about helping y'all out. This is what the Democratic Party is telling us. We'll study y'all. All right, you black American citizens, we'll think about it. But if you're in Ukraine, I got a check for you. Cash it. Send it. If you're Zelensky, you getting on the phone, send it. All right? We'll send money. We'll send billions of dollars overseas right now, today. Oh, we did a miscalculation, Joe Biden says. We didn't send you enough money. We need to send another $6 billion to Ukraine. We didn't send you enough. We underpaid y'all, right? This non-NATO member. Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We underpaid them. We need to send more billions to Ukraine. But you black American citizens asking for reparations, you get nothing. But vote for us, right? We're going to increase mass incarceration. We're going to increase spending for police officers. And you're not black if you don't vote for us. That's the moral of the story. That's the message the Democratic Party wants you to be left with. Huh? And then you wonder why black people, black Americans in particular, black males specifically, are not supporting this Democratic Party. Now, I give a pass to the sisters. I give a pass to the sisters because the sisters, right now, they got the carrot of the abortion rights being dangled over them, right? Personally, I don't think the Democrats are going to do anything to codify Roe versus Wade because Obama promised he would and he didn't. But at least I can understand the hesitancy. I can understand the second guessing on the part of the sisters saying, well, I don't know if we're going to jump to the Republican Party. But black men, we have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. That's been my time, guys. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, support the channel. I appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, do me a personal favor. Smash the subscribe button. I drop a different video every single day. Different topics just like this, all right? They're all interesting, a little bit controversial, with the perspective you might not have heard before. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We can get more conversations like this. I appreciate all the love, all the support. Hold on, before we go, I'm just now looking at some comments. My bad, guys. I'm slow. I'm seeing the comments. I was slow. Let me read out some of these comments. Let me read out these comments, guys. I haven't been paying attention. Let me read these comments. Criminal justice reforms need to coincide with eliminating qualified immunity. Exactly. Who is this? Michael Pan. Salute, Michael Pan. I agree with you, brother. Eliminating bad police practices and build the police force from scratch. I agree. Listen, one thing, if you go check out my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at The True Lou. The True Lou. All right? The THATRUE_LOU. Check me out on Instagram at The True Lou. I have friends. Full disclosure, I was in the Army for about 4 years, a long time ago. I got some friends. I support black people in the military. I support black people in the police. We need more black police officers. We need reform, both legislatively and from a grassroots effort. We need more black men in particular to infiltrate these police officers, these police administrations, and we need to police our own streets. Listen, police officers are necessary. I'm not one to say we defund the police. We don't need police. That's not what I'm saying. We need police officers. Crime is real. Crime is real. If you've ever been to jail, let me tell you, there's some people in there that deserve to be there. Let me tell you, I'm speaking from experience. If you've ever been to jail, you know that there's some people in there that deserve to be there. All right? So I'm not demonizing the police. But I agree with you, Michael Pan. We do need to eliminate qualified immunity, and we do need more black people from a grassroots perspective to infiltrate the police administration. My bad, guys, I'm just now getting to these comments, but I'm going to read through all of these comments before I go. I'm not going to leave anything unread. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to get through your comments before I leave. Correction, criminal justice reform needs to coincide with eliminating of qualified immunity, eliminating bad police practices, and building the police force from scratch. I agree with you. Niggas, Afro Dane Doll. What's up, sweetheart? Salute to you. I appreciate you. Rocking with me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Moderate Democrats are not different from Republicans in terms of Wade closing the wound. Hey, Mike, you and me, brother. You and me, we're here. We are on the same page, man. We are on the same page. Niggas, God bless your mom. Good genes. I am power bottom in Denmark. Okay, I don't know what that means. Where do you live? Kissable. I want to cuddle with you. Okay, I hope you're a lady. Okay, I don't know. All right, I'll take the compliment, I guess. I appreciate you. Back to Michael Pan. You said that America is good for the Constitution. It is. You are wrong because the Constitution protects big corporations, that's true, and ultra wealthy people by emphasizing that money is free speech. Let me correct you there, bro. It's not the Constitution that says that money is free speech. It is the Supreme Court who says that money is free speech. All right? That is not constitutionally protected. Free speech is constitutionally protected, but it was a Supreme Court decision. I might have to make a whole separate video on this topic. but it was a Supreme Court decision that argued that corporations should be looked at as people. It was a Supreme Court decision that corporations should be looked at as people, and their rights should be protected. So that's not the Constitution. That's Supreme Court decision. But one thing I like about the Constitution is it gives the people the authority and power to undo everything that has been done. We have the ability to amend the Constitution. We have the separations of power between the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. So we do have the ability to change this. We have the ability to change this, and that's why I like the Constitution. I appreciate your comments. Whether we agree or not, I'm rocking with you, Mike. Oh, okay. Niggas. Okay, I don't know where you coming from. At least in Denmark, Michael, government takes good care of you. In America, you would have struggled to get ahead. True, free school doctor degree, and I get paid for studying in Denmark by government, $800 per month to cover rent and transportation to school. That's nice. Denmark sounds good. Denmark is a socialist nation with capitalism engagement. Democrats are done. Trayvon. Guys, y'all gotta support the dude, Trayvon Jones. Salute Trayvon Jones. He's been rocking with me since the beginning. I'm talking about I had maybe 25 subs, guys. I mean, listen, I'm still a growing channel. I'm still a little guy. I'm a small fish in a really big pond. I'm a really humble. I'm here talking to my mom, right? I'm here talking to my mom, my dad in the chat somewhere. I'm here talking to my family. If y'all come along for the ride, salute. I appreciate y'all. Y'all support the dude, Trayvon Jones. He has his own channel, Conscious Talk channel. Support the kid, Trayvon Jones. He's been doing his thing. He's been rocking with me for the longest. Appreciate you, Trayvon. You know what's going on. Back to Negus. Okay, Negus is... All right, what does this one say? It says free healthcare too if I want a new heart or operation. Denmark sounds lit, yo. I'm not gonna lie to you. I pay 38% tax out of my income every month. We pay 35% here. So I deserve no thanks to Denmark. Thanks to us, Afro-Dane taxpayers. Okay, salute to the Afro-Denmark folks. Excuse me. Coming from Mike. Niggas, Afro-Dane dog. What is your contact information? Because I am considering Denmark. Okay, Michael Pan and niggas got something going on. Okay, salute to y'all. I'm glad we can make a connection. I only want to marry the YouTuber host and let him get Danish visa. Nah, I'm good. I'm good in America, niggas. I appreciate you though. I'm not into all black men. That's fine. Michael Pan, you are a passport bro. Why you name Pan? It means chaos of the pagan. Now I don't know about everything you're saying, niggas, but that's interesting. Mike, I'm not going on your name, but if you ever read that book, Peter Pan, do your research on Peter Pan. That's an interesting book. I'm not going on your name, bro, but I'm just saying that's interesting. By the way, guys, the original topic, I'm done. I've said everything I have to say on the original topic. Right now, I'm just going through the comments. I'm responding to all my comments. I appreciate everyone rocking with me so far. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to get through these comments, and that'll be it for tonight. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. All right, niggas, coming from Michael Pan. No, I am not a passport bro. I am thinking about traveling and maybe relocating to Denmark for universal healthcare. Listen, universal healthcare is something we need to push for here in America. It's ridiculous that we can go through 2020, a worldwide epidemic, and people like Bernie Sanders, people like AOC are not calling for healthcare for all, universal healthcare. That just goes to show you how useless and incompetent these Democrats are. Michael Penn, Dr. Cornel West is the candidate that I am supporting. Right. I'm with you, Mike. Negas, black male pathology, Cynthia G is right. Okay, that's fine. Has he said anything about doing anything specifically for black people? No party supports black people. Cornel West has specifically said that he supports reparations. What? What? Cornel West has specifically said he supports reparations. So that should answer your question. Blood Crow. I appreciate your comment, Blood Crow. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Back to Negas. You sound hella dumb when you write blacks need to stand together. We celebrated Alabama brawl because we never used to see you defend yourself. Yep, I read all my comments, guys. I read all my comments. I know some of them are outlandish, but listen, if y'all are supporting me, I want to hear what you have to say. So I'm supporting all my comments. Might take me a while, but y'all support me, I support you. Okay. Niggas in Denmark, we used to see you as trash, blah blah blah, expendable, blah 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 blah. I'm not reading all that negativity. I'm gonna blah 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 some of these. I like dominant black. Okay, blah blah blah. I wanna have the okay, blah blah blah. That is your punishment. Okay, niggas, you are wildin'. Niggas, you are on here. I don't know what you're talking about. I like calling grown black men. Okay, you're something. You're wild. All right, we're almost done, guys. We black. Okay, coming from Blood Crow. We black people need to get off the Democratic train and Republican train. I'm rocking with you. Who is this? Blood Crow? Hit the thumbs up button, bro. Blood Crow. Subscribe to the channel. I like where your mind is at, Blood Crow. I like your thinking. Hit the subscribe button. I want to see you in some more of these conversations. I'm agreeing with the lot you have to say, Blood Crow. We need to get off the Republican and Democratic train and give our voters to the party who is offering us tangibles in writing before we give our votes to anybody. Can I get a round of applause for this guy, Blood Crow? You're on the right track, Blood Crow. Blood Crow, please consider voting for the Green Party because it supports cash payment reparations for ADOS. That's an option. That's an option. Blood Crow, I'm not giving my vote to anyone who doesn't put it in writing first and speak about it in public so we know where they stand. Like I said, check out Cornel West. He specifically has videos speaking positively of reparations, saying he does, in fact, support reparations. I haven't heard Cornel West say he's going to do anything specifically for black people. I just addressed that. Google it. I think he was on the podcast with Brianna Gray. Brianna Joy Gray, Great Joy. I always get her name mixed up, but she was on the video with Brianna Great Joy, I think it is. He specifically expressed support for reparations. That's only one example, but he's given in multiple podcasts. He has spoken positively and said he does support reparations. I think I made a video here reviewing some of his comments. If I haven't, I might go back and make a video specifically on that topic. But yes, he is on record saying he supports reparations. Back to Michael Pan. You need to do your research. All right. Nonviolent people should not go to jail. Michael Pan, okay, let me think about this. Nonviolent people should not go to jail. Theft is nonviolent. Should you go to jail for theft? Burglary, someone breaks into your house, takes your stuff. They haven't hit you. They just broke in your door, broke through your window. They take your TV. They demolish your house. Should they go to jail? I don't know about that one. Yeah, Mike, that should go to jail. Yeah. Yeah, so I like the sentiment. Like we need to examine what crimes should be punished with prison, but police are necessary. I'm not here to demonize the police. Let me see what else we got. Do you research people go to jail? All right, almost done. Michael Pan, will educate me because I haven't seen this on any party's website. Furthermore, just because it's on the website doesn't mean anything. I agree with you. They can say it. Like I said, even Democrats, they say a lot of things that they'll support, and then when they get into office, they do something different. Verbally expressing support for it is just the first step. All right. So I'm not saying that there's any guarantee that these folks are making to support reparations, but I would rather them at least verbally express support for it instead of openly demonizing it. All right. So I agree with you. Sorry, I can't talk. I see some folks calling me right now. I can't take phone calls. I'm on live. But I agree with you guys. Let's see. I'm almost done with these comments. Hold on, guys. All right. Fried time. You do know that big corporations of ultra wealthy people have influence over the Supreme Court. Yes. What is your contact information to spread the knowledge? Guys, you can check me out here, first of all, on the YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot more lives. I used to do pre-edited videos, but I'm doing a lot more lives. So y'all can get involved, tap in with me here. I can respond to your comments. If you want to get in direct or personal contact with me, you can follow me and shoot me a DM on Instagram at @TheTrueLou. Let me see if I can have someone shoot that. I'm going to put it in the chat. Follow my Instagram. Follow my IG at the true underscore Lou. All right, you'll see a picture of me like this on my Instagram. Follow my Instagram at the true Lou. You can shoot me a DM there, or you can shoot me an email at ithinkitvids. Letter I, think, IT, it. I think it vids, VIDS. I think it vids at gmail.com. So you can shoot me an email, you can follow me on Instagram, or you can just tap in with me here on my live. All right. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate anyone who wants to send me some videos, some content. I might see something. Oh man, let me make a video about that. So if you have some ideas, something you want me to address, you can always leave it there. When I say nonviolent, I mean people smoking. Yeah, smoking weed should definitely be legalized. Another failed promise. Joe Biden said that he was going to legalize marijuana on the federal level. It's not. So I would agree with you. Smoking, these nonviolent drug offenses, free them. Free the guys, yo. Free the bros. Not physically destroying property. Michael Pan, I appreciate you, dog. I agree with a lot of things you have to say, Mike. Michael Pan, Blood Crow, I appreciate both of y'all in the chat. I appreciate both of y'all driving the conversation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. That's going to be it for me today. Niggas, you were wilding in the comments, but I appreciate your support too, all right? Everybody, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. That's it for me today. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Peace.